Youngster. Fans are talking about what happened at the V12 lounge a few nights ago, and the city of Atlanta is buzzing more than ever. Imagine this. As stunning as ever, Tamar Braxton is seen out with her group. And who can be seen with her? Not one aside from Mendeecees, the longtime spouse of Yandy Smith. Yes, you heard correctly. According to witnesses, the two were a bit too near. As the night was coming to an end, they were sneaking away, whispering and laughing. The disturbing aspect is what happened next, as if it wasn't enough to make people's jaws drop. Rumor has it that Tamar didn't simply walk out. She allegedly asked Mendeecees and a few other people to return to her home about 1 in the morning. You know how this works now. Supporters are yelling treachery. Collaboration is being whispered by insiders. Yandy too? Reports state that she is not amenable to the folly. She's angry, they claim. Others maintain that she is prepared to intervene and deal with Tamar directly. Is this a typical late-night business meeting gone too far? Or has Yandy reached a new breaking point in their marriage? This drama is just beginning, so grab some tea. At first, things seemed normal that night at the lounge. The audience was lively, the lights were low, and the music was loud. However, as the evening wore on, rumors began to circulate around the space. People saw Mendeecees and Tamar Braxton standing just a bit too close to the VIP area. They appeared to be discussing secrets that no one else should know, based on their strange body language. Mendeecees smiled and cocked his head whenever Tamar leaned in to talk. That was all it took for supporters in the vicinity to begin taking phone recordings. When it comes to celebrity rumors, Atlanta is small, and nothing remains secret for very long. People began taking pictures, texting each other, and muttering that something sensational was about to happen in a matter of minutes. Tamar wasn't strolling alone by the time she started for the exit. She was being followed closely by Mendeecees, who was stroking her shoulder in an unfriendly manner. According to witnesses, he kept looking around as though to make sure no one was looking. In actuality, though, everyone was observing. Tamar laughed and covered her mouth like a schoolgirl concealing a secret, while another said he even said, "Let's roll before it gets messy." The big stunner came next. Insiders claimed that instead Tamar apparently invited him and a few pals to her house as a means to say goodbye. The moment? It was a little after 1 in the morning. This quickly became the subject of headline chatter on the streets. It was exacerbated by Tamar's recent experience. She had just mentioned that she woke up from her horrifying accident in a bloody mess, with a broken nose, knocked out teeth, and still not feeling well. After praying for her recovery, followers abruptly turned their backs on the matter. Given that she was allegedly in such a vulnerable situation, why would she be hosting late-night guests, particularly Yandy's husband? Some believe there must be more to the story, while others characterized it as irresponsible and suspicious. Why was this so secretive if it was business? What did Yandy and her family have to deal with if it was personal? The relationship between Yandy and Mendeecees has always been a topic of discussion. Since it started in 2006, their love story has seen more upheavals than most couples could withstand. Although the 2015 wedding was meant to usher in a new era, it feels like their door has always been wrapped by scandal. Late-night sightings, dom leaks, and incessant cheating rumors have all been used to tarnish Mendeecees' name. The number of ladies who have claimed to have been connected to him is almost too numerous for fans to count. Despite everything, Yandy remained steadfast, guarding her husband like a soldier safeguarding her home. However, a woman was involved in the murmurs this time, equally as well known, audacious, and attention-grabbing as Yandy herself. The rumors were more loud than ever because Tamar Braxton is not a name that is commonly used. Yandy didn't take the news lightly, according to those close to her. According to an informant, she was enraged and paced her living room, screaming that Tamar was too smart. "She knows my family is already under attack, and she still chose to play these games," Yandy allegedly remarked, her voice wavering between hurt and rage. Reminding her that nothing was confirmed yet, friends attempted to reassure her. However, Yandy has a history of not waiting for evidence. When Mendeecees' name was spoken, she had previously stepped to women, and she has never been afraid to physically defend her turf if necessary. Fans began questioning on social media if Tamar will be the next woman to experience Yandy's fury. In the meantime, Mendeecees didn't appear to mind. He dismissed it as just business, according to a source. He reportedly revealed to a close friend that Tamar had been thinking about casting him in one of her next visual projects. He supposedly denied the rumors. "We were just talking about the work. That's it," he allegedly added. Social media was inundated with comments from fans like, "If it's just business, why hide it? And Yandy better keep an eye on her man." But even if that was true, people weren't buying the excuse. Business meetings don't usually end at 1 o'clock in the morning, after drinks at a lounge, and they certainly don't involve secretive whispers and late-night invites. Additional eyewitness reports emerged. It has been abnormally silent in Tamar's camp. Tamar usually responds quickly when the blogs get out of control, but this time she has remained silent. Some people think it has to do with her health. Some believe it's because she doesn't want to add fuel to a fire that's already burning. However, the discussion has continued despite the hush. Hashtags such as Yan Tamar and Tamar and Mendeecees began to gain popularity on Twitter. As the newest entertainment showdown, fans couldn't stop picking sides and shared jokes, presents, and even side-by-side photos of Tamar and Yandy with messages like "pick your fighter." While some maintained that Tamar was free to do as she pleased because she was single, others maintained that she had gone too far by hosting another woman's husband. Yandy's previous drama reappeared online, further escalating the situation. Resurfaced were clips from Love and Hip Hop in which Mendeecees acknowledged that he considered divorce on a regular basis. The story swiftly turned into one of a poisonous relationship that might finally be ending after fans unearthed video of Yandy admitting to having an emotional bond outside of the marriage. "They've been dragging this out for years, but maybe this is the breaking point," a supporter said. Yandy always defends him, but how long can she keep doing this when the other woman is Tamar Braxton? Another person said, "The possibility of Tamar's involvement added a new level of scandal because it wasn't simply another unidentified lady. It was a fellow celebrity, with her own drama, fan base, and history of making news." When people began to speculate about tomorrow's accident, it was the most unnerving. Conspiracy theorists even went so far as to speculate that the incident may not have been random. Rumors circulated that perhaps Tamar was receiving a warning from the cosmos or possibly someone closer. Though it may sound dramatic, hypotheses abound in the realm of celebrity rumors. Some even said Yandy might have been involved, although there was no proof to back up this theory. Nevertheless, the concept alone fueled the flames and gave the drama a more sinister turn. According to insiders, Yandy has told close pals that she won't just sit back and watch if the rumors are confirmed. "I will not let another woman embarrass me and my family. Not this time," is what one individual purportedly quoted her saying. Language that has supporters certain that a fight may be imminent. Predictions ranging from furious disagreements to full-fledged altercations are already being made about what may occur if Tamar and Yandy met pads. Atlanta seems to be waiting for the next explosion, and tensions are high. Atlanta's entertainment scene sprang off like wildfire as the rumors spread. The blogs, one source said that she spent hours isolating herself in her bedroom and only talking to her closest confidants. "I've dealt with this man embarrassing me for years, but tomorrow, oh no, she's not about to humiliate me too," she reportedly yelled at one point. According to the insider, her tone wasn't solely dejected. It was acerbic, almost vindictive. According to reports, her friends urged her to maintain her composure, cautioning that any hasty decision could degenerate into public mayhem. However, it appeared from Yandy's prior actions that she was erratic in her marriage. Mendeecees, meanwhile, was seen in an Atlanta gym looking as cool as ever while sharing exercise videos on his story as though nothing had occurred. Fans were just irritated by that casual attitude. People analyzed every element from the comment, with one person asking, "How are you flexing weights when your marriage is hanging by a thread?" Another said, "The calm ones are always the guilty ones. He's too relaxed for someone who's innocent." Grin while listening to the music in the background of his video. Even the simplest gestures may be magnified on social media, and in this instance, it led to more charges that he didn't give a damn about Yandy's feelings. Interest was nevertheless piqued by Tamar's silence. Days went by shy with neither she nor her team issuing a direct statement. Some bloggers speculated that she might be keeping silent because of her injury, while others said her lawyers had told her not to spread the rumors. Nevertheless, the silence left a void, and admirers filled it with their own retellings of the tale. "When Tamar is quiet, you know something is up," said a well-known YouTube commentator. "She loves to correct the record, but the fact that she hasn't said a word chilly, that's suspicious." Her audience nodded in agreement, and the comments were flooded with theories including "it's just business. She and Mendeecees are more than companions." Yandy's anger reportedly boiled over when an old friend called her late at night with fresh gossip. The friend claims she had heard from a promoter who was at the V12 lounge that Tamar wasn't shy about showing affection. She was holding his arm, laughing and letting people see them together, the friend told her. Yandy allegedly snapped back, "So, she wants people to see her with my husband right now? Is she brave or just stupid?" Family members close to Yandy also started to voice their concerns after that one phone call, which was believed to have radically changed Yandy's spirit. She stopped crying and began planning, determined not to let Tamar leave unharmed if the rumors turned out to be true. Reminding her that her kids were observing, she allegedly sat her down and said, "You can't keep letting these scandals define your marriage." Allegedly, her mother remarked, "You must choose between leaving with honor or staying and fighting." Yandy was hurt by those remarks, but rather than making her feel better, they made her even more frustrated. "I am fighting, but I'm not fighting for nothing," she reportedly said to her mother. "I'm working to prevent this kind of disrespect from women in the future." When a grainy video clip appeared online, taken from a phone across the lounge, it seemed to show Tamar and Mendeecees walking side by side, their heads close together, whispering. Although nothing inappropriate was captured on camera, the intimacy was evident, and the tension increased even more. Within hours, the video had millions of views after blogs shared it with captions like "business meeting" or "late night date." Tamar's fans quickly defended her, claiming the clip showed nothing, but Yandy's supporters saw it as sufficient proof to convict Tamar. As the discussion heated up, other celebrities began to weigh in, including one reality star. Said in a mysterious tweet from Atlanta that "I told y'all some of these marriages are not what they seem. The truth is now coming to light after people have been creeping." Though the star didn't mention names, fans immediately tied the comment to Tamar and Mendeecees. Another former Love and Hip Hop cast member wrote on Instagram, "Business doesn't happen at 1 o'clock a.m. You are all aware of this." In the midst of all of this, Tamar was seen leaving a doctor's office with her face partially covered. While paparazzi surrounded her, asking her about Mendeecees, she remained silent and hurried to her car without saying a word, which only made the headlines louder. Their remarks only served to further escalate the story, turning it from gossip into a full-blown scandal, with the entire industry watching. According to one tabloid, Tamar won't rule out meeting up with Yandy's husband late at night. Another asserted, however, that Braxton was concealing her face following the affair. At home, Yandy was allegedly becoming restless, but whether on purpose or not, her silence became part of the story, portraying her as either guilty or too overwhelmed to deal with the problem. "Look at how close they are." According to a close associate, she repeatedly played back the lounge footage, analyzing each frame as if it were evidence in a court of law. She allegedly informed her companion, "That's not business. Intimacy is that." She seemed resigned and bitter, as if she had finally come to terms with the Mendeecees. Friends say he was annoyed by the story, and one of them supposedly agreed with him, stating, "He swears it's nothing." Despite the chance that the rumors were accurate, she was hardening and getting ready for an imminent showdown. He claims that individuals exaggerated what he was saying regarding a project. However, even those pals acknowledged that the optics were poor. We bluntly asked him, "Why are you leaving a lounge with another woman at 1 o'clock in the morning?" That's the situation you placed yourself in. Whether it's innocent or not doesn't matter. According to reports, Mendeecees' true self simply shrugged and remarked, "People will believe what they want. That is beyond my control." Fans started tagging both women in posts, urging them to speak up. Some pleaded with Tamar to clear her name, while others demanded Yandy leave Mendeecees permanently. His friends were concerned about this lack of urgency because they knew Yandy wouldn't tolerate the situation. As the days stretched into weeks, the rumor intensified into a storm that overshadowed both Tamar's recuperation and Yandy's projects. The city and the internet were restless, and the issue lingered in the air. Would Yandy confront Tamar directly, or would she continue to support Mendeecees as she always had? It was no longer simply rumor, but a public debate about loyalty, marriage, and respect. Insiders soon started speculating that Yandy and Tamar would meet at an upcoming charity event in Atlanta, and the hype quickly exploded as the story was pinned at the top of every gossip page. Every podcast dispelled theories, and fans waited for the next big revelation. Forget the charity event, one blogger said, while others started treating it like a heavyweight boxing match, predicting fireworks if the two women found up in the same room. This drama is going to be pay-per-view. People were drawn in by the build-up alone, but the tension was palpable behind the scenes. You knew he was my husband, and you knew the rumors were already tearing us apart. Yandy allegedly practiced, her voice shaking with anger, as friends attempted to remind her that nothing had been confirmed. According to one friend, Yandy spent days emotionally preparing herself, practicing what she would say to Tamar if given the chance while standing in front of her mirror. But Yandy's heart didn't care about the evidence. Perception was reality to her, and perception shouted betrayal. Tamar, on the other hand, was reportedly worn out. She was still recovering from her accident, dealing with pain and the burden of unfavorable attention, and her team told her not to go to the event. But Tamar, being Tamar, she refused. She allegedly informed her boss, "I'm not hiding for nobody," and allowed rumors to dictate her actions. "They'll think I'm guilty if I don't show up. Let them see how proud I am." Although she sounded confident, insiders said she was anxious behind closed doors because she knew the cameras would be watching. The atmosphere was electric on the night of the event, with photographers lining up outside, fans hovering near the entrance, and bloggers streaming live updates on social media. Tamar arrived in a sleek black gown, her face fully exposed for the first time since the paparazzi caught her at the doctor's office, and the crowd gasped at her presence. She knew Yandy wouldn't remain silent forever. Cheering, others jeering, but everyone's eyes were on her. A few minutes later, Yandy showed up, looking just as beautiful, her face unreadable and icy. However, even those pals acknowledged that the optics were poor. We bluntly asked him, "Why are you leaving a lounge with another woman at 1 o'clock in the morning?" That's the situation you placed yourself in. Whether it's innocent or not doesn't matter. According to reports, Mendeecees' true self simply shrugged and remarked, "People will believe what they want. That is beyond my control." Fans started tagging both women in posts, urging them to speak up. Some pleaded with Tamar to clear her name, while others demanded Yandy leave Mendeecees permanently. His friends were concerned about this lack of urgency because they knew Yandy wouldn't tolerate the situation. As the days stretched into weeks, the rumor intensified into a storm that overshadowed both Tamar's recuperation and Yandy's projects. The city and the internet were restless, and the issue lingered in the air. Would Yandy confront Tamar directly, or would she continue to support Mendeecees as she always had? It was no longer simply rumor, but a public debate about loyalty, marriage, and respect. Insiders soon started speculating that Yandy and the room that had been humming with small talk suddenly felt like a stage for a fight. The two women initially avoided each other. Cameras captured the precise moment when their eyes met across the room, and the look said everything words could not. Tamar quickly turned away, pretending to laugh at something while Yandy clenched her jaw, her patience running thin. As the night wore on, tension increased as Tamar mixed with her circle, forcing smiles, while Yandy stayed close to her friends, sipping a drink and watching from a distance. When both women were leaving at the same time, a confrontation ultimately broke out outside the exit, and according to some accounts, Yandy walked straight into Tamar's path and stated, "We need to talk." Tamar reportedly said, "There's nothing to talk about," seeming surprised yet collected. Although their conversation was brief, there was no denying the intensity of their voices. Supporters in the vicinity claimed to have heard Yandy snap, "Tamar, don't play with me. You are fully aware of what you are doing." Refusing to let up, Tamar retorted, "I'm just living my life." The altercation ended without any physical contact, but the verbal abuse was enough to light up the internet. "You better check your man, not me." Fans analyzed every second, with some applauding Yandy for taking on Tamar head-on and others praising Tamar for standing her ground. The audio from the heated moment was leaked, and within hours it was trending on all platforms. The clip was grainy and full of background noise, but the words were clear enough to confirm the hostility. The gap between their supporters widened, and suddenly the scandal wasn't just about cheating rumors. It had turned into a fight between two strong women whose reputations were at stake. The fallout was instantaneous. Hashtags such as cheer, Team and Chem Team Yandy flooded timelines, and celebrities started picking sides and subtly revealing their allegiances. One R&B singer shared a story that said, "Sometimes you got to call out disrespect face to face," which many interpreted as endorsing Yandy. The popular actress's remark, "Women need to stop tearing each other apart over men," was interpreted by fans as a defense of Tamar. Every fresh remark appeared to intensify the drama, and the business was in a frenzy. Strangely enough, Mendeecees said nothing. He continued to upload his typical stuff while the women sparred in public, as if he was oblivious to the mayhem. Demanded that he clear the air, but he never responded. Some fans felt that his quiet was a tactic, while others said it was a sign of conceit. One fan remarked, "He's letting these women go to war while he sits back like it's none of his business. Horrible." Another said, "The quiet says a lot. Men who are guilty tend to hide when the heat is on." His exclusion from the story only made matters worse, leaving Yandy and Tamar to rely on conjecture. However, the altercation at the charity function was not the end. Rumors circulated in the days that followed that Yandy was thinking about filing a slander lawsuit. Insiders claimed that Tamar's team was negotiating as she prepared to present her side of the story in a controlled interview.